Hello everyone, and welcome back to RegeNation, where we talk about sustainability, politics, and everything in between. I'm your host, Ami, and today we have a very special episode for you all. We'll be discussing how eco-villages and their fight for change has influenced policies on global, national, and local levels. Our special guest today, Giada Stiles, will share her expertise on these incredible communities. Welcome to the show, Giada. Hi, Demi. I'm so excited to be here and share all about eco-villages, their impact on the world, and how they've been shaping policies on multiple levels. I've been diving deep into these communities, and I think we're going to have a great conversation. That sounds fantastic. Before we dive into the specifics, what sparked your interest in eco-villages? Why did you choose to focus on them for your research? I stumbled upon the idea of eco-villages after getting really interested in communes and how they were part of the counterculture movement in the 60s. And I started wondering if these alternative communities still existed today, so that led me to two standout examples through my research: Findhorn Village in Scotland and Auroville in India. These places have had a huge impact on both national and international sustainability policies, and I just had to explore how they'd managed to create real, lasting change. It's amazing how a single question can lead to such a deep dive into a fascinating topic. So, let's get into it. Could you share some key findings from your research on Findhorn and Auroville and what makes them such important players in sustainability? Sure. Let's start with Findhorn Eco-Village in Scotland. The village has been around since the 1960s and is a model of sustainable living. One of the most remarkable aspects of Findhorn is its energy system. It's completely powered by renewable energy, wind and solar power generated locally. It's a living example of how communities can generate their own energy, reduce carbon emissions, and be self-sufficient in a meaningful way. In fact, Findhorn has had such a successful work with their model currently that its principles have been incorporated into national policy in Scotland specifically. For example, Scotland's building codes and carbon reduction strategies have been influenced by the green practices that Findhorn demonstrated. In recognition of its impact, Findhorn was awarded the UN Habitat Best Practice Settlement status in both 1998 and 2018. This shows just how influential it's been on the international stage. Wow, it's incredible how a small community like Findhorn has had such a ripple effect on policy. And what about Auroville in India? Auroville, which was founded in 1968, is another really great example. It's a self-sustained town with over 3,000 residents from over 60 countries, all united by a vision of sustainable living. Auroville has done incredible work with afforestation, where it's reclaimed barren land and turned it into lush green ecosystems. This project became a part of India's national afforestation program, and moreover, Auroville's permaculture practices and organic farming have been integrated into India's national agroforestry policy. One of the key points about Auroville is its legal status as an experimental township. The Indian government has granted this status, allowing Auroville to test out its sustainable models on larger scales, which could then be replicated nationwide. This collaboration shows the power of legal recognition in fostering innovation and implementing grassroots ideas into broader policy frameworks. That's fascinating. It seems like both Findhorn and Auroville have not just been successful models of sustainable living, but also catalysts for significant policy change. What do you think makes them so powerful in influencing policy at such a large scale? The power of these eco-villages comes from their ability to serve as functional, real-world examples of sustainability. They show governments and international institutions that green living isn't just possible, it's happening right now, on the ground. These eco-villages have the power to demonstrate that alternative lifestyles can work and that sustainable models can thrive in a globalized world. When governments see that policies they put in place can actually have tangible benefits on the ground, it's much easier for them to adopt those ideas on a larger scale. In terms of legitimacy, their influence is bolstered when they gain recognition from national governments and international bodies like the United Nations. These kinds of validation makes it easier for their ideas to be accepted by the mainstream political and economic institutions, creating a stronger push for policy reform. It really does sound like eco-villages are a model of what the future of sustainability could look like. But let's shift gears for a bit and talk about the international impact. How have eco-villages influenced global sustainability efforts? Eco-villages are increasingly visible at the global level, particularly through the work of the Global Eco-Village Network, or GEN, which is UN accredited. It's been a strong advocate for applying the eco-village model in international sustainability discussions, such as the COP climate conferences. These conferences are where world leaders come together to discuss climate action, and representatives from eco-villages have been invited to share their models as potential solutions for larger-scale sustainability efforts. For example, the EU Green Deal, which focuses on reducing carbon emissions and increasing renewable energy use, has incorporated eco-village principles like low-carbon construction and community-led environmentalism. Eco-villages have been instrumental in demonstrating how local sustainability initiatives can scale up into comprehensive policies that affect entire nations or regions. That's such a powerful example of how local action can have a global impact. It sounds like eco-villages are reshaping the way we think about sustainability in the larger political and economic systems. Exactly. And this also ties into the political theories like liberalism, which emphasizes decentralization and the autonomy of local communities. Eco-villages demonstrate that communities can make their own decisions about how to live sustainably, and these models can be replicated and scaled up to influence national and global policies. Additionally, eco-villages align with the grassroots theory of change, which basically explains that social and political change can start at the local level and then grow up from there. The success of eco-villages shows that a bottom-up solution can lead to meaningful, long-lasting change. It's inspiring to see how much influence these small communities can have, especially when they align with broader political theories. Absolutely, yes. Eco-villages provide proof that sustainable living is not just an ideal, but a reality that can be practiced on a day-to-day basis. Their success at the local level can inspire national and global institutions to take action. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts on how eco-villages continue to shape this future of sustainability? I think that the most important takeaway is that eco-villages are not just creating sustainable living spaces. They're about changing the conversation around sustainability at all levels of society. They show that small-scale action can lead to big changes, and they provide real-world solutions that can inspire policymakers and governments to take action on sustainability. The future of sustainable living depends on communities like these, and their influence is only going to grow. That's a powerful note to end on. Giada, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. I hope our listeners are just as inspired by eco-villages as I am. Thank you, Demi. It was great to be here and discuss this important topic. I hope everyone gets a chance to learn more about eco-villages and what they've been doing to change the world. And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Today's episode of RegeNation is brought to you by The Vegan Carnivore, the revolutionary new plant-based steak that bleeds beet juice, moves when you cut it, and fights back if you hesitate too long. Get your vegan carnivore steak today and experience what the future of sustainable dining feels like, with a side of adventure. That's all for today's episode of RegeNation. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you've been inspired to think about how small communities can drive big change. Stay sustainable, everyone.